Hey, what's up, YouTube? This is Game on Cloud 9 here, and I'm here to bring you guys a Naruto Manga 641 prediction. And yeah, I know a lot of you guys have probably been wondering where the heck I've been. I've been missing from like the YouTube scene in terms of my own channel for like probably a little over a week because predictions should have came out last week. You guys got no Naruto prediction or Bleach prediction, and there was like no word or anything for me or where the heck I went. So some of you may wondered out there, some of you may not have cared, but I mean, honestly, I'm kind of wondering whether or not I'm going to do the predictions anymore. And the main reason for that is because sometimes I'll read a chapter and I'll kind of look at it and I'll be thinking whether or not is it really worth trying to predict, if you get what I'm trying to say. Like, not enough really happened in there for me to be able to come up with maybe a good prediction or what I think would be a good prediction. And I kind of thought to myself, maybe if I try to do them every other week, maybe do them monthly, it'll be a lot better and it'd be a lot more enjoyable for me when I review them rather than trying to review and predict them. And, of course, since they're supposed to be prediction videos, try to come up with a prediction at the end that, I don't really have much to go off of or, can't really make a really good prediction out of because maybe not much happened in the chapter. So I don't know. Let me know what you guys think about that. Would you guys, prefer them every other week? Maybe you get more, and I'm like, obviously if I go ahead and decide to stop doing them every week, doing the reviews every week or predictions every week, I should say, I'd probably start throwing in, maybe more crossover battles and probably throwing another segment to try to replace that, on a weekly basis. So you guys would still get something on a Wednesday. Heck, maybe I'll even do different Naruto type discussions, Bleach type discussions, and maybe start doing One Piece discussions again. But again, let me know. Anyway, this week's chapter of Naruto, to me, I mean, even though it was, pretty entertaining, and, this is probably a chapter that normally, I'm pretty sure, a lot of you may have even, went crazy over. To me, it wasn't something that I just necessarily went nuts over. And the reason for that is because I didn't feel like that much necessarily happened. I mean, mainly the things that happened in this week's chapter were that, okay, we saw obviously Naruto, and Sasuke escaped Obito's grip. They didn't get, hit with that special move that Obito has, which has like the four elements combined in it. That's like Gentone, which we all knew. I mean, obviously next week wasn't going to be like the final chapter of Naruto. So, I mean, that right there is pretty predictable. It was just wondering exactly how he was going to go about, or Naruto, and then we're actually going to get out of that jam. Of course, Flying Thunder God Jutsu by touching Minato. And then right after that, of course, Obito starts losing control. He starts looking like Tetsuo, if you guys know who Tetsuo is from Akira. I mean, I know I've seen a lot of references out there, and I honestly do think that Kishimoto is trying to like show a little, kind of give a little Akira reference, through what's his name, Obito. And the reason why I say that is because if you know anything about Naruto, if you know anything about the writer Masashi Kishimoto, one of the things that made him want to become a mangaka is seeing the movie Akira. So I'm not too surprised, seeing a little bit of, Kira references through Obito since the manga is starting to come to an end. So I mean, I think that's pretty cool. But yeah, you see him start to lose control. He starts getting real big and everything, and we see Obito pretty much, there's this mental image that Obito's having of himself just getting ripped apart. You can already see his arm is missing when we see this picture of Team 7 and his face is gone, symbolizing he had forgotten who he was. And on top of that, you saw the picture start ripping up, and while the picture ripped up, his body started ripping up in the same places. And as soon as the Rin part got ripped, started to get ripped, Obito just lost and he pulled himself back together, and that's when he achieved like this semi-Sage the Six Paths form. I still don't think the Ten Tails is in its final form, so obviously I don't think he has all of its power, but he's reached some new stage of some sort. So, obviously he's, really beastly right now. He even has the staff of the Sage the Six Paths, where he formed a staff similar to it. And on top of that, he even has his cloak, or not cloak, but his I guess you could say his body kind of has like, like the flesh of it looks a little bit like the cloak Naruto has, like the Sage of Six Paths cloak. So obviously, more of a like correlation between Sage Six Paths and Obito. I'm kind of still wondering, I mean, what the Sage Six Paths really looked like with his facial features, because when we saw the back of the Sage Six Paths, it didn't seem like he had like some kind of fleshy Ten Tails cloak. He actually seemed like he had just like a regular jacket or something. So I found that kind of a little bit weird, but at the same time, I don't mind the transformation. It looks pretty cool. I always love transformations, usually in manga anyway. So, obviously Minato tried to clash with Obito. That wasn't happening. He even got his arm cut off with, which actually, when I was on a forum site and I saw them talking about the panel that you saw that Minato got his arm cut off by Obito. If you actually see that panel, it's kind of somewhat of a reference back to when he fought against Obito before, when they were in the Nine-Tailed Fox attack. If you guys remember, during the Nine-Tailed Fox attack, Minato cut off Obito's arm, and then Obito, I think he like jumped back or something, and then Minato had already placed the Flying Thunder God Jutsu on him, something along those lines. Well, anyway, the panels between when Minato cut off Obito's arm and when you see Obito cut off Minato's arm and Minato jumped back are kind of similar. Not only that, but Obito kind of like snuck a move in there too. So, it's pretty cool in a way, and it kind of shows Obito, he's stronger than his sensei right now, that's for sure. Now, the end of the chapter obviously was when this semi-tail beast bomb. I don't really know if I'd call it a tail beast bomb since it's supposed to be made up of these 4 nature elements. But obviously, since he placed it on Minato right before he teleported, it teleported with him, and it's getting ready to explode, and that's cliffhanger at the end of the chapter. Now, what I think is going to happen, honestly, obviously, I think Kakashi's probably going to come back, because Minato, his moment was, I'd probably say, the past 2 or so chapters, him doing this Flying Thunder God Jutsu, and obviously Obito's kind of figured out the weakness now that he snuck in a move right there. Sasuke isn't strong enough. Sasuke, maybe if he busts out perfect Susanoo in the middle of this mess right now, then maybe they'll survive that particular attack. Obviously, they're going to survive. I don't think Naruto's going to go Biji mode, because he had his moment somewhat in this week's chapter. It even pressed Minato that, in terms of intellect, he's keeping up with Sasuke. And then we also, I don't know, just to me it makes more sense for Kakashi to actually be the one to save them in this particular circumstance, or maybe Kamui. He's probably going to show up, Kamui it away, and then maybe that'll be his limit or something like that. That way, I'll introduce him right back into the story, and obviously Minato will be kind of shocked to see his students. So that's what I think is going to happen. Obito, I'm still waiting for him to do more OP stuff. I think the other Hokages are probably going to show up and, start fighting against him again. But, again, I do want to see some more, like, OP stuff from Obito. In terms of like from a rating standpoint this week, I think the pacing of the chapter wasn't bad. It was just pretty much average to me. It wasn't anything in the chapter that I felt like had like that was like messed up or anything like that. To me, the chapter did its purpose. Obviously, this chapter is set up for Obito to finally pull himself together, get his mind in order, and take control of the Ten Tails power, which he did. That all was covered right there. And the cliffhanger was pretty much somewhat like last week, so it was a pretty, average cliffhanger, showing, of course, the main characters and, the other major characters seem like they're in trouble when we all know they're really not. So, to me, for me at least, this was somewhat of an average chapter. I enjoyed it, usually like I enjoy most chapters. But at the end of the day, in terms of from a rating standpoint, I think it was pretty much average. So I actually would probably just give this chapter a simple Jonin level to me. Jonin, between Chunin and Jonin. I'm gonna go with Jonin on this. Or you know what? Heck, let's go with special Jonin on this shit. Might as well. Because honestly, I don't feel like there was anything that other than Obito going into the transformation. This chapter wasn't anything to me that was just super dynamic in terms of dialogue or anything that occurred, because still the same Ren stuff over and over again. And I do feel bad for Obito in terms of the all that he's went through, and I do think that it can be at least for me it pulls on your heartstrings a little bit, the fact that he was once this great kid and he fell and became this this monster. But at the end of the day, we've already known this for chapters now, and again, we're not getting any new dialogue that really, adds to anything in terms of, anything that's coming out of Obito's mouth right now. So that's pretty much my prediction. I don't really, I think, again, Hokages are going to probably come back maybe towards the middle of next chapter. Kakashi's probably going to Kamui that little tail beast bomb thing, or that little semi tail beast gentone, whatever you want to call it thing. And heck, maybe this chapter actually will be maybe a Team Minato focused chapter, like maybe just dialogue between them next week. So anyway, these are my thoughts this week. Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. Give me your thoughts, and don't forget to let me know actually what you think about maybe me doing these predictions either every other week, maybe monthly, unless obviously something just dynamic happens where a lot of, we have a lot of different things that we have to talk about. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and put this video up, but let me know what you guys think. So anyway, see you later.